Okay, happy Sunday. 10/27/24. A little bit lazy today. It's interesting. I wouldn't say lazy, but I would say feeling a little lethargic. This morning didn't quite have the same level of productivity I've had the last few days, and I would attribute that to going to bed late last night. And by late, I mean we're talking like 11 o'clock. And interestingly enough, I found that if I go to bed late, if I have sugar, I had some sugar yesterday at a party, had some candy, love candy. But I will say this, the following day after having sugar, I usually feel a little like hungover, a little tired. And these little things, little leaks, it's like a balloon full of water. You poke little tiny holes in it, and you have water pouring out from every direction. And that water is your energy. And so I'm aware of these things, and I would encourage you to really think about what it is. What are those little leaks? What are those little holes that are draining you of your energy, of your life force? And when you really try to treat your habits, what you eat, what you consume, not only food, but video, media, all these things, you'll start to see the areas in which you can improve and create a stronger mindset. One thing that I am very, surface level aware of, I don't know a whole lot about it, but the difference in music between 440 hertz and 432 hertz, and how 440 is meant to incite aggression, a feeling of hopelessness, of feeling trapped, and how, if I'm aware, if this is correct, that a lot of mainstream music, if not all mainstream music, features 440 hertz. Whereas 432, it's more optimistic. You feel more relaxed. You feel happier as a result of listening to it. And so Tesla talks about energy, frequency, vibration. And this, we're talking about frequency. And so if you can imagine, the food you're consuming, the music you're consuming, the messaging you're consuming, right? If you're on social media, and it's gotten to a point now, even now, where it's like the content on my feed is curated. However, it's all kind of the same, and it's all of these guys talking about here's the 10 success tips, here's the psychological hack, and maybe I'm being a hack for doing these kind of videos myself, but my intention is more so to teach and share, not even teach, but share my own experience of going through this journey. And it's just like my whole feed's full of that. And it's like, after a while you get tired of listening to people talk about things. And so I do this as a way to share my journey, but it's also kind of a cathartic, creative exercise for me to just express myself. And so I'm beginning to audit my consumption, right? And it's paining me to have to consider the idea of giving up YouTube, Reddit, some of these things I enjoy to a certain degree, but oftentimes will kind of take over my whole diet, if you will. So doing an audit of sorts, or kind of keeping yourself in the boundaries of that, is important. But then say, okay, let's say we get rid of all that stuff. What do we do? And so me and some of my buddies are trying to figure that out. Where do we meet people like us? Where do we meet women that we're attracted to, that we're looking for? I'm working on viewing the world from a more discerning eye. And that may imply a bit of judgment. It does imply a bit of judgment as to what I deem valuable and not as valuable, as worthy of my time and not as worthy of my time. But this is really where knowing what you want is important. And if you don't know what you want, which I've often been in that situation many times, being willing to experiment and try different things to find out what you want, but sometimes more importantly, what you don't want. If you don't know what you want, think about what you don't want. And then it's just the opposite. It's just the inverse. I know Charles Munger had this law of inversion. Like, if I want XYZ result, what's the thing that won't give me the result? And then, okay, I'm going to just apply the opposite principles to that thing. And so that's an important way to go about it, I would say, is figuring that out. Showing yourself some grace as you figure that out, and doing your best, man. Just trying to do your best every day. And again, the 12-week year has been specifically helpful for me because it seems a lot more manageable. And while I don't want to go super in depth into my goals, one of my goals is getting more clients for my personal training business. And this last week I got 2. And that is attributed towards my experience and the education that I'm going through and the questions I'm asking. Sure, it's all those things. But it's also having in mind, okay, this is what I want, and these are the steps I have to take in order to achieve that. And so the more important your goals, your purpose becomes, the more aware you are of what you need to accomplish, what you need to do, what you need to avoid. And now we're going full circle back to the whole balloon metaphor of like, okay, these holes are impacting my performance, my mindset in regards to pursuing my goal. And because the goal is so important to me, I need to cut those things out. I need to draw my energy back to me. And I feel like that's the only way to have lasting change. I mean, I'm feeling so much more confident lately because I know what I'm aiming for. And not only what I'm aiming for, but what is necessary in order to achieve said result. And it's still tough. I mean, today I got to edit for 4 hours. I got to work for 4 hours on this project. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather do it and having said, okay, sweet, I accomplished this, as opposed to not doing it, taking the easy road, and then being like, damn, I'm shooting myself in the foot here because I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. And this is where honor comes in, being true to your word. And so, anyway, that's something about frequency, habits, goals, all that fun stuff. Hope you have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow.